cry. Old enough to say no lullabies. Always living life in black and white. Find the vision from the colored lights. Spirited, but are you spiritual? Found you look for me, that's a miracle. Then I go make mistakes, that's pitiful. Then I go make mistakes, that's typical. Let me know, let me know. I will go, I will go. All I know. Visions of me in a row. Keep on working, I'm on fold. Cold case closed. They didn't wanna know. Heard your girl was at my show. Give me nothing I know. When I got it for the love. Wingspan for the glass.
I'm gonna start this one off a little bit different. It's got to be done.
Right, welcome back guys to another episode of Sugar Mummy's Lips Talk.
So as you can see, I've just lit my incense because today's episode is going to need a little bit of vanquishing of some negative energy, because what I'm about to get into today
Is the reason why I've given you the green for envy and lust and all of those other characteristics that are not the greatest. The topic we're going to get on today, as to why I've given you this,
fire breather energy.
we're going to talk about haters.
Yeah, you heard me right. We're going to talk about haters.
The reason why today's topic is about that is because I feel like when we address this topic normally, it's consoling the person who is receiving the hate and the negative comments and all of the stuff that comes with it. I'd like to address it today from the healing perspective of the person who is unable to articulate themselves in a manner that feels good to you. I always have an acronym for things that are on the
Not so positive side.
The acronym for haters is hidden attraction that enters random situations.
To a degree, that is kind of self-explanatory.
There's something hidden within these people that feel this type of way towards you or other people or towards situations
That they just literally cannot hold their tongue for.
we kind of need to dive into why that is. Why do these people, rather than scrolling past something that doesn't make them feel good,
Ignorance isn't always bliss, but there are certain situations where taking the ignorant approach to it gives you more of a sense of peace of mind, because it's not your business to be minding.
but that's a topic for another day. I'm not going to get into that now. However, these people that can troll people online, that like to flip you off when they're driving and get into road rage with you, those people who want to
Nudge you while you're out and look at you like you're crazy, like you have something to say to them. These weird people, and sorry to use the word weird,
but it's
abnormal to me.
why somebody would necessarily want to resonate with that. So that then lets me know that I'm in the wrong for even calling them weird.
I need to be thinking, what is truly up with this person? What is going on with them why they feel so negative? Why they cannot, for love nor money, like muster up some strength to go and get some positive energy that's going to lift their spirits.
I believe that there is two types of cheerleaders. A cheerleader that went to the prestigious college of cheerleading and they had all of the finances and resources available for them to get the education in cheerleading, rooting and raising the frequency, raising people's energy vibrations and making them feel overall good about themselves.
Ready to go and win that game. And the game of life is what we're talking about.
So there's category A, and category B would be the ones that went
To a community centre version of a cheerleading school.
And the reason why I have these two unbalanced versions is because somewhere that has a wide range of facilities and people with different capabilities that are willing to strive to teach, and they have an urge to go and fulfill their burning desires to give that energy out of making people aware of how to truly raise and lift and make people feel better. And that is just their natural energy. They're just excited to do that. So when they're delivering certain information and messages and teachings, they are of a higher vibrational frequency in the sense of making someone feel
good.
These people will get taught at this prestigious college of cheerleading. They'll get taught things like, when somebody is down on their luck, what is the best thing as a remedy that you can offer to them to make them feel like they can get this game to turn around and be more of that winning experience that gives them those endorphins and all of those lovely feelings that just get them
pumped up and ready just to have anything that's thrown at them. But
while they're having these trainings of learning how to do that, they're also learning why it's important for them to give that type of energy to someone. Because
if the shoe was on the other foot and you was the one in the game of life, and you needed a bit of support, like some scaffolding, and you needed to be held up at the moment where it's just about to be touched down, and we need to know in those last moments, have we won or haven't we? In those critical moments, what type of energy frequency do you need to get you through
to the other side? Now, there's certain people that are really good teachers, and they're good at teaching you the art of upliftment. They're great at teaching you the art of
being the best cheerleader, the best support mechanism, the best person that you could be, offering out your services to people at a time where you know that they're in need and you have something you can offer them. Now, on the other hand, if you go to a community centre version of a cheerleading academy,
these people are already underpaid, underfunded, undermotivated. So when they come into you as a teacher to give you or impart their wisdom on you,
you are a willing, wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to learn new addition.
And you're met with somebody who...
It's like, look, do what you will. I'm just on the clock. I'm getting paid for this. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Go enjoy doing nothing. Because I don't get paid enough to care if you become a good cheerleader or not.
The reason why I feel like it's important for us to recognise why these two types of environments of raising people's knowledge on how to actually produce endorphins for others is because if we really check it out, if you're underpaid and undermotivated to actually want to better the generations of students that are going to come in and want to feel that new exciting experience, if you're not necessarily getting the motivation you need to go and put that in, or maybe you've been ill-treated or ill-taught, hence why you are undermotivated and under-supportive. Now, I'm not saying that it's the fault of the people who are trying to learn, or nor am I saying it's the fault of the people who are teaching these bad habits to people that make them not very supportive, not very good with constructive criticism. Because criticism on a whole is not necessarily the best way to deliver a teaching. Constructive criticism, on the other hand, is definitely a good way, because you can have an opinion all day about how you feel somebody needs to do something, but if you can't come to them with a good replacement for what it is that they already did and you said wasn't any good,
Not really helping at all.
come with some answers. If you're going to have
That vital opinion that you feel like needs to be heard and needs to be recognised, definitely come with some answers of some divine purpose, okay?
when you're going to this college of prestige and highly accomplished, cheerleading squad, for whatever team they root for, they always seem to have the winning team. And even the winning team know that the cheerleading squad are definitely the biggest help that they have during their journey. These people
Can root and toot and holler and let you know that it doesn't matter how you feel right now, the heat is on, but you definitely are the chef cooking up in that kitchen and you've got this. We know that you're going to serve that up right on time. That is literally going to be the best delivery of this meal or situation we've ever experienced. Someone once said to me, I'm not stepping on eggshells to please this person or make them feel better about themselves, because it's not me that's the problem. They're doing certain things and it's not great, so I refuse to, get myself in a predicament where I feel like I have to be careful and mind what I say and what I do around certain people.
But then I had to say to them, we now need to look at this eggshell scenario as the person that you're speaking of is the eggshell. They are
broken.
They are the Humpty Dumpty that sat on that tall wall, did not think about how fragile they were, and off they went, tumbling down, and couldn't be repaired as of yet, because they've had this situation where people would walk past them after their fall and look down and say,
well, you should have been on the wall in the first place, you should have known that was coming.
And they walk on eggshells. They pretend to, not want to step on it, but they do. And we should recognise that's a whole person. That's a whole shattered person. And as much as whatever they're saying to you isn't very positive, isn't very uplifting, isn't very constructive, you need to see from what damaged place that this person's coming from, because not all damaged people
are damaged to fault of their own.
So I would definitely say, when we're talking about people being crazy,
clearly raised around zoo yards,
we have to be very careful with how we tread. If you can see that someone cannot articulate themselves in a high vibrational, intelligent way, and they find themselves in an argument, swearing more so than the actual point getting across, you find it
irritable, highly stressed, and unable to just put themselves together enough to get through this moment they're having. And it doesn't matter if they're online, it doesn't matter if they're out in the street, it doesn't matter if they're at home and having a whole meltdown. Like, it doesn't matter where they are. There's times where people have breakdowns, and they break down.
And they type it out, they shout it out, they act it out. And how are we going to resolve these issues if we do not
look into
where it's coming from? We do need to, travel back sometimes for people to pinpoint where that moment happened that broke them to the point that they feel like they're unable to offer out constructive criticism, or just literally scroll past if you don't like it, and not entertain things that don't make you happy. Now, sometimes I think to myself, there are people who genuinely enjoy getting themselves in the thick of it on things that is no business of theirs. Now, it's all great having an opinion, like I said earlier. It's just how you navigate that opinion around others. Is your opinion respectful of that person? Is your opinion useful to that person? Is your opinion wanted by that person? There are some factors that these people who like to emanate certain unnecessary, unpleasant,
emotional states of being onto other people. So I would say to you, if you are entrepreneuring it out, if you are going it alone, if you're stepping out on a whim and just trying whatever it is that just gets you excited, it's all different realms for you. You're not used to that. That's not something that you're trained in. It's something that you know that you're interested in, and you're going to try your best at doing what it is that you believe will make you happy.
When you come across these people, you can either, one, pay them no mind, like literally pay them no mind. Two, you could just give them back love, because that is the most awkwardest situation for somebody trying to get you into a state of mind where you're literally lowering yourself to their level. That's why they say don't bring yourself down to people's level to communicate with them. If you are of a higher intelligence when it comes to articulating yourself in different situations that some people find stressful, then do you think that lowering yourself to come and be face to face with somebody's irritations is a place for you to be at? Bearing in mind you've been up there winning, succeeding, doing the best that you can with the things that you've got. And that's when it comes to the ideas of be the bigger person. Now, some people will be like, I don't like that idea, be the bigger person. Why do I have to be
adult-like version and you're the adolescent and I must take the higher ground and say, do you know what? No, I'm not entertaining that. I'm just going to look at you like a child. Because you have to think, who operates in those manners? Is it not children?
Is it not children that operate in a certain manner that they just can't seem to put it together for it to come out pleasantly or even with any sense behind it? So that's why if you do know that somebody's just sounds or seems or is just acting erratic, do you think that typing back a message to somebody's erratic comment, do you feel like you're doing any justice to yourself or to that person who may be just coming from a very damaged place? Now, I just want to let you know that the way you deal with these people, if it's not in your timeline for that day that you have enough energy reserved to teach these people a bit of love and a bit of, happiness, then maybe you should scroll on by and let that just go right over your head, because that's not something you need to be absorbing that day, because clearly you do not have the energy to give it. However,
If you really have got a bit of time that day, try and not fight fire with fire, because that just sounds like more fire. So I would say try and use the other elements to maybe dampen that fire. Try and show them some unexpected love and just let them know that you're there to support them if they need it, if you really need it. If you're finding things difficult right now because people lash out in different ways and people do strange things to others just because they just don't know how to express their feelings.
think about this situation of a prestigious academy of cheerleading champions, and then think about
The community centre, bog standard, no frills, quick save kind of energy.
that some people are being raised in. Is it their fault that they're actually a supporter of you because they have some form of attraction to what it is that you're doing, saying, or being like, why they just cannot stop feeling that pressing levitational pull kind of energy, hence why they had to get online and type something unpleasant or to say something negative to you in the street, because they're dealing with a lot of stuff that they don't know how to cope with, so they lash out in a different way.
I am not excusing, nor am I justifying people's actions, because once you get past a certain age and you've learned a fair few things about life, this teaching that you was raised in could have been a damaging situation, but it's for you to clock that is not how you want to operate. You might have only been given certain tools, but you're going to now seek out other tools that are going to be useful to you and are going to be raising you at all times.
And if you can't raise other people, then concentrate on just doing it for you. If something irritates you, scroll right on by. If something
Gives you the twitch that, can't deal. Find a way of going around that. Engaging in certain lower energy conversations, situations, is not helpful to you, nor is it helpful to the world. Now, bringing light on the fact that we have a lot of Humpty Dumptys in the world, there's a lot of eggs that have been cracked, and that means there's a lot of people that are damaged to the point where, how are we going to know whose shell goes where? How are we going to put these people back together in the right way? And it isn't your job necessarily just to go around fixing people, but it is definitely your job not to go around standing on them more to make them more damaged. Because eventually when somebody does have the strength to raise these people up, that's a lot of work that you've left behind. And that's all in the name of you saying, well, I was just defending. Do we always need to defend people we know who are right? Do you need to defend the truth? If you know the truth is the truth, do you need to defend it?
or do you just live like, well, we'll agree to disagree and keep it moving? If you know somebody is acting clinically insane,
They're acting like somebody with dementia, like they have lost their whole mind and are unable to figure out where they are right now, do you think that adding your 2 pence worth is going to help? No. So don't be holier than thou, more righteous than everyone, by thinking that you're helping them by typing something back or having a bit of a snide comment back. You're not. You need to think about how we're going to move these people out of that energy, or remove yourself from that energy if that's all you managed to do that day. So I would say to you, if you ever experience anybody that comes to you with negative, unnecessary and farceful irritations, if you can't put any good energy or good light on it,
leave it all alone. Leave well off me. Like, literally. It's not going to do you no good.
so plow on in the idea of learn to notice people who have gone to the prestigious schools of cheerleading, and notice the ones that have literally only been given your no frills experience of it.
Imagine if you had a business and you hired a bunch of employees that you didn't necessarily go through the criteria of things that they are best at. You didn't ask them those questions. You just looked for people and you just said, "What? Yeah, you ready for that pay? Okay, cool." And you hired these people and literally put them in a room and said, "Go for it. Run my business." Whose fault if that business crumbles? Whose fault is it? Is it not yours? So we have to think about all the things that we do to contribute to things being like, a bunch of people being told,
This is the factory. Go in there and pick a job to do and do it. Have you laid out for them what the jobs are, how they're best to be done for safety, with common sense, with consideration for whatever machinery that's around so they can stay alive? No. You've just thought, well, this person is in this role, they should know what they're doing.
no, just because someone's trolling on the internet or someone's having a moment of, despair while they're driving, wanting to flip you off or whatever they're doing, doesn't mean that they're in control. Doesn't mean that they know how to engage with people just because they are engaging with you. So you look at it from the perspective of, I see that your skills
Have not been mastered.
or have not been taught correctly for you to flow like the yin and the yang around in life and feel like you are moving harmoniously with everything, in sync with the world around you.
The way that these people's cars are zoomed up around here, I just don't get it. I know these people ain't committing no crimes, because the way your car is now, you're not getting away with nothing at this time of night with that engine. Like, I can still hear you. That is mad.
Notice these odd behaviours in people that make it so that you double take or you just look at them strange, and instead of just thinking that they're crazy or a hater, just think they really was not raised right. They really wasn't taught right on how to elevate someone, how to lift them, or if you're unable to do that or you're disinterested in doing that, then just to leave well alone. Seriously. Some people just weren't taught that. And I just want to let you know that as long as you're always making sure that the people around you are being taken care of in the prestigious way, where you hold them dearly to you, and you make sure that anything that you say to them is to make sure that it's raising them and to make sure that it is helping them to think better for themselves, then you're doing the best you can with the situation you have. Now, if you come in contact with people who don't have the ability to raise you up or make you feel better, getting into it with them, you're doing no better. So let's not fall off.
Keep truly focused, and just know that eventually these people will come to a dawning that spending their time writing whatever it is that they felt was so necessary to write, commenting on what it is that they thought was so important to comment on, but having no form of constructive criticism or constructive upliftment within that, one day they'll realise that they're either going to get ignored or people are only going to shine more positivity towards them, because that's the best way to deal with negativity, is to combat it with love, care, and caution.
Because these people are erratic. So we're not just going to pretend that they're not daisy crushers, that they don't run through the park and think, a beautiful flower there living its life, stomp it out. Because some people think like that. They can't just see beauty. They can't just see you winning. the thought of seeing someone winning while they're not, it crushes them. So just realize that everybody goes through something, and we have to be mindful of that. That's something that people are going through. And once we do that, there's definitely an ability to navigate around people.
Like the bees do. The bees are so harmonious. They never bump into each other. They know where they're going. They're precise. We need to be more precise with our actions and realise that when we feel like we're being positive, are we truly being positive? Are we truly being helpful? Are we making sure that those situations do not reoccur? Or are we just fueling the fire?
So be mindful of the haters out there, but also realise that they have chemical imbalances, things that are mentally putting them in a debilitating state that they're unable to come out of and feel
Alive. And when I say alive, vibrant, excitable, and willing to explore every option and aspect of this world and life that is available to us.
So really, don't worry about a hater. Literally. They will always feel how they feel. You cannot control how somebody feels, and you can't change all the time how someone feels. You can just continue to be you. Be you gracefully.
Like a swan on the lake, kicking its feet. But yet, not one of us can see that, as the feet are underneath the water, gracefully leading them across that lake.
So, enjoy being you. And just remember, sometimes some people don't enjoy being themselves. Keep that at the forefront of communications and dealings with others. And you just find yourself in such a good place. I don't want to be a hater of a hater, but yeah, I want to give love and appreciation to people who don't necessarily know how to enjoy
And raise themselves. So if you can't enjoy and raise yourself, how do you expect them to do that for others? Be considerate of that. And just know, where there's winning, there's a way. I forgot to mention, the incense I lit earlier, the name of it is Zombie Repellent. That's why I thought it was extremely fitting for this topic today. I normally like one that's called Divine Soul, but I think that we need to definitely vanquish these zombies. So stay out of the apocalypse, stay winning. Let's try this. The new techniques. So cheers, mate.